The man accused of gunning down 6 people in a shooting rampage goes in front of a judge for the first time and is formally charged with murder. Good to have you with us this Monday for Local 4 News at 5. That's Jason Dalton, and he said he preferred to remain silent in court as the charges against him were read. In all, he faces 6 counts of murder, but there were also 2 people who were wounded.
Yeah, and at the White House today, President Obama talked about the tragedy and offered the help of the federal government.
As many of you read, 6 people were gunned down in a rampage in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Before I joined all of you, I called the mayor, the sheriff, and the police chief there and told them that they would have whatever federal support they needed in their investigation.
And that investigation is still in its early stages. Our Paula Tutman is getting reaction from the community of the senseless killing of these innocent people. We'll get to her in just a moment.
We'll start our coverage here at 5 with Lauren Podell, who was in court as Dalton was arraigned. He pretty much was silent the whole time, Lauren.
Devin and Kimberly, that's right. Not only did Dalton have nothing to say in court, he also remained expressionless, even when the judge read off each and every victim's names who he allegedly shot and killed or injured during a shooting spree on Saturday. But with that being said, we did speak with the Kalamazoo County prosecutor following the arraignment, who let us know that Dalton, at least over the last 48 hours while in police custody, had plenty to say.
Are you Jason Brian Dalton?
Yes.
Charged with 16 felonies, bail denied. The Uber driver arrested in the Kalamazoo mass shooting may have remained mute in court.
I would prefer just to remain silent.
But prosecutor Jeff Getting says 45-year-old Jason Dalton has had plenty to say to police during the investigation.
He admitted his involvement in these incidents.
Dalton was arraigned via video before Judge Heineke, charged with 6 counts open murder, 2 counts assault with intent to murder, and 8 counts felony firearm. Getting is confident Dalton will stay behind bars.
We have a very strong case. As was laid out at the probable cause hearing, at the time he was stopped, he had a weapon on him. We believe that to be the weapon used in one or more of these incidences.
No motive was revealed today as to why Dalton cruised around the city Saturday night, picking his targets.
This was not just a momentary lapse. He walked up on these people and he shot them.
When the shooting spree was over, 6 people were killed, 2 more wounded, including a 14-year-old girl who everyone is pulling for.
Our 14-year-old victim is holding on. She came out of surgery. She's in very critical condition.
And that is the latest on that 14-year-old's condition from police authorities here in Kalamazoo. Now, the next time Dalton will be in court, March 3rd, for a pre-exam here in Kalamazoo County. Coming up at 6 o'clock, though, we have much more coverage here on Dalton and what unfolded at today's arraignment. You're going to hear from a detective from Michigan State Police specifically handling the shootings at the Cracker Barrel scene. He not only gives specifics about how those shootings unfolded, but he weighs in on Dalton's demeanor through the questioning process. Very interesting. Not only did this detective have something to say about this, but also the prosecutor. They find how he's reacted over the last 48 hours. Extremely interesting. We're going to have more on that coming up. But for now, of course, a tragedy like this certainly can bring a community together. That's exactly what's happened here in Kalamazoo. Local 4's Paula Tutman has been following that side of the story for us. And Paula, you're at the latest location where another vigil will be taking place. Good evening.
Hi, good evening to you, Lauren. Actually, we're just a little bit away from you, about 2 blocks away at the First Congregational Church. This is where a vigil is being held. In about an hour and a half, an opportunity for people to grieve together, but also speak the names of these victims. That's very important to their family and loved ones, because as much as we're talking about Dalton right now, they want to make sure it's the victims' names that loom largely right now. Mary Jo Nye came from a small town her buddies laughingly called Nyetown, the village of Baroda, Michigan, nestled in rolling hills and vineyards, a treasure filled with people with the last name Nye. And today, 2 of those treasures are gone. Mary Lou Nye and Mary Jo Nye. Mary Jo and Mary Lou were at the Cracker Barrel in Kalamazoo this weekend when a bullet ended their lives. Mary Jo's co-worker and friend says this is her favorite picture because it shows how easily Mary Jo opened up and laughed out loud, unabashedly, with pure joy.
She had an amazing spirit. She cared so much for every student she worked with. She would take them. She adopted many who didn't have much for a home life. She would make sure that they knew that they were loved.
And then there's 17-year-old Tyler Smith, who was apparently car shopping with his dad Richard when a bullet ended their lives. Tyler's friends and schoolmates are still trying to make sense of it all.
He was just such a great kid. You know, he always smiled, and he just really enjoyed, being there, and he was really well liked by a lot of students.
2 people survived the rampage: a 14-year-old girl, the niece of Mary Jo, who is clinging to life with life support, and then another woman who was shot in front of her apartment complex with her 3 children. Their families have asked that their identities not be released, and we're respecting that. But a total of 6 lives were cut short: Mary Jo Nye, Mary Lou Nye, Tyler Smith, Richard Smith, Barbara Hawthorne, Dorothy Brown. And while we all search for the answer why, the loved ones of those who were killed want everyone to think of them first. You know, I want to circle back to something I talked about on our 4 o'clock news, because Tyler's mom, Rich's wife, Lori Smith, has been speaking out by way of her Facebook page. Very, very poignant and also very, very sad. I want to read another passage very quickly. She's talking about her daughter, Emily, and she's thanking everyone for their support as Em and I and our whole family try to figure out how to go on after losing our son, grandson, brother, cousin, nephew, friend, husband, soulmate, uncle, daddy, son-in-law, love of my life. And you really can't imagine, there are no words to express how this woman must feel with the loss of her husband and son. Certainly thoughts and prayers go out to them and all of the families this evening, guys.
So right, Paula Tutman reporting for us from Kalamazoo. We have created a special section on the Kalamazoo shootings. It's there on clickondetroit.com. We've got all of the stories that we've done so far, and as you'll see, many more to come, and those will be found by clicking on the News tab.